been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh! Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly's doing its job, keeping you cool
With barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the home of the best coverage of your Arizona Cardinals and the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's D-Day on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a great Monday afternoon to you. Hope you had a great weekend and are all excited about this new week of life. Orientation week at the University of Arizona. I remember my orientation week well, way back in 1986. Not here at the University of Arizona, but at the University of Southern California. The students have made their way back to Tucson. They're getting to know their campus. Some of them getting to know that campus for the first time. Many of them getting reacquainted with their friends and their haunts and all of the good things that involve college life, reconnections, and we are now just a week and a half away from football. Arizona Wildcats broke camp over the weekend, held their final full scrimmage. It does not appear they've got obviously one weekend left before the first game, but if you listen to Danny Gonzalez a few weeks ago, they're still practicing, and they practicing hard. They went this morning, workout number 15 of the fall. But it sounds like they are now getting to that point where they're going to start to begin to pare it down as they get ready for game week, which will be next week, and the New Mexico Lobos coming in here on Saturday night, the 31st. This is officially week 0. There are 7 games that will be happening this weekend across college football. The Wildcats obviously will not be one of those, but I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, New Mexico plays this weekend. So the Wildcats will have a chance to sit back and watch their opponent and get a feel of real tape from their first opponent. So that is obviously a definite advantage for the Arizona Wildcats as they head into game number 1 to get back to be able to sit back and watch New Mexico actually play a game this weekend.
Montana State Bobcats.
Yeah, they're pretty good too. I would not, don't mess with Montana State. Don't mess with the Bobcats. They generally are one of the better teams in FCS. So that's not going to be easy to say the least at all. That'll be a game in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. And that'll be obviously the first game for their new coach after Bronco Mendenhall, who comes over from spent some years at BYU and now is at New Mexico. The question is, can he do any better than the most recent coaches that have been there, including Danny Gonzalez? It's not an easy place to win at the University of New Mexico. I remember hearing Danny Gonzalez talk about that after he was let go earlier this year, about how, you've got to have the buy-in. You got to have the buy-in from the fan base. You've got to have the buy-in from the businesses. I mean, it's no different from any other town in this era of NIL. You just got to have it. You got to have the fans that are willing to show up. and pack your stadium and make it an atmosphere. And then you got to have the businesses that are willing to get behind the program, get involved with NIL. All those things that we're saying here in Tucson have to happen in places like Albuquerque, New Mexico as well. And so we'll see how Bronco Mendenhall does there and if he can kind of revitalize that New Mexico program. Because I think that could be a really good rivalry again. It was when I first got here. They were playing routinely year to year, the Wildcats and the Lobos, and I'd like to maybe see that get going again. Very close, easy trip for both teams, and that's a series you could play, if not annually. You know, you could have 2-year contracts with that every decade or maybe twice a decade.
Well, I think one of the issues with that job, DK, is 200 plus NFL players were born and raised in Arizona. 45 players in the history of the NFL. It? 45 players in the history of the NFL were born in New Mexico.
Not a lot.
When you don't have again, that doesn't mean that you don't have the outlier, but it's tougher when your own home state, your own backyard, you can't just go grab somebody who potentially could, start on Sundays.
So we can talk about Arizona football today. You'll hear from the head coach. He spoke after the scrimmage on Saturday, Brent Brennan. I asked him 2 questions specifically, what he thought the most pleasant surprise of fall camp has been and what he thought the most challenging thing about the fall camp has been. You'll hear his reaction to that. We've got a couple of guests right here in the first hour of today's program on the women's side of Arizona athletics. Arizona soccer wins again on Sunday, blowing out because, again, 5-0 in soccer is a blowout. Blowing out Pacific 5-0. 4 of those 5 goals were scored by Nicole Dalen. Nikki now has 5 goals on the season in 2 games. How about that for a start for one of your senior leaders and the young lady that you're going to be calling upon to provide you offense this year? Nicole Dallin will join us coming up in the next half hour. Also, we're going to chat with the head coach of the Arizona women's volleyball team, Charita Stubbs. Cleveland in the house. Charita Stubbs from my hometown. So, yes, we will talk a little Cleveland with Charita Stubbs. They had their red-blue game over the weekend at Richard Jefferson Gymnasium. Had a chance to get by and see some of that. Watched Carly Cisneros play for the first time.
You got an invite?
I always get an invite, man. I'm one of those people.
I know you do.
I'm that dude.
You're on those lists.
I am that dude. I had a chance to go by and see that. And, there were the high-level donors were there. Some of the high-level donors were in the house to watch and support Arizona volleyball. Got a chance to see Carly Cisneros, #1 recruit in the country. She can play. She doesn't look like it's again, it's, it was a red-blue game. It's not with the lights on in McHale Center, but she did not look like she was out of place as a true freshman out there playing with a lot of veterans. So that was good to see. That's really the first thing you look for when you're talking about a true freshman who could potentially be somebody that can come in to your program and make a difference right away. You want to see, how does she look? Does she look like a deer in the headlights? Is she holding her own? Is she scoring? Is she playing defense, which we heard she's really good at? And that's something that the Wildcats have not necessarily been good at in terms of the hitting position, the pins.
Yeah, you asked Kim Doss about the setting, which has been an issue, and what she said in response was, it's really the setting up the setter, right? And that she may have a big hand in that, making sure you dig those balls in a place that somebody can get it up at the net for a kill.
Had a chance also to speak with Amanda DeWitt, one of the transfers out of South Florida. Decided to take her last year and come out here to Arizona and play some volleyball. So you'll get a chance to hear from Amanda DeWitt, senior, as well. And Dino Babers talked today after practice for the Arizona football team, practice number 15. The offensive coordinator will get his thoughts on where the offense sits right now. He had some pretty high-level things to say about the two dudes that everybody's going to be paying attention to on this offense, and that is the quarterback, Noah Fafita, and the wide receiver, Tetairoa McMillan. He had high-level things to say about those two guys and what they're bringing to this football program. So we'll hear from Dino Babers coming up as well. We want to hear from you. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number to get in on the show. Professional sports can be so fleeting. When we last left you, the Arizona Diamondbacks had won 6 games in a row and were on the verge of catching the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West. We reconvene with you on this Monday after the Diamondbacks got swept in Tampa Bay. Swept. It's like again, it's like when baseball, you never know. You just never know in baseball. I mean, I'll take my team for example, the Tribe. Beat up last week on the Chicago Cubs, and then go to Milwaukee and get swept. Same thing for the Snakes. Beat up on. Well, I mean, they had some close games, but still, they won them. They won them all. The Colorado Rockies. And then you go to Tampa Bay and you lose 3 games. You try to get Ketel Marte back in the lineup. He gets hurt again. That's not good. You wonder now you're starting to wonder, did you rush him back? Why were you rushing him back? And you have some defensive miscues from guys that are pretty generally dependable. Jake McCarthy had a miscue that cost you a game. Geraldo Perdomo had a brain fart on the infield on a ground ball. And now you got to go to Miami, and you need to kick Miami's butt because they're not very good. That's 3 more. So the first 3 on this road trip did not go as planned.
Do you know
for the Diamondbacks?
You know why it seems so shocking that they got swept? It's because that was the first series the Diamondbacks have lost since June 27th versus Minnesota. Almost 2 months. Mm-hmm. They went almost 2 months, DK, without losing a single series.
Yeah. I mean, they again, like we said, best team in baseball overall. Played their way right back into leading the wild card. At one point this past week, they were just 2 games behind the Dodgers. Poised to catch them. But again, the road is interesting. And 9 straight on the road on this trip. Did not start well. Now you got 3 against the Marlins in Miami. The Marlins are not a very good team. So you need to get right, as the Snakes now have fallen into 3rd place in the National League West. They are 1 game behind San Diego and now 4 games behind the Dodgers. The Marlins, on the other hand, have won 46 games this season. They aren't the worst team. Obviously, that's Chicago. Chicago already has 95 losses this season. And we haven't even gotten this. We were just passing mid-September, and the White Sox have lost 95 games.
More embarrassing than that, DK, they have a little symbol next to their name.
They've already been eliminated.
Yeah, they've been eliminated.
They've already been eliminated.
The Marlins are not the worst team, but they are tied for the 2nd worst record in baseball with the Rockies.
With the Rockies. Yeah, I think the Rockies have 1 more loss, so they're slightly worse.
46 and 78, 46 and 79,
Yeah. So there you go. You beat up on the Rockies. You need to do the same on the Marlins this weekend. We'll get more into that coming up as well in your Diamondbacks. Download the Mercuried. They lost to Indiana, and then they turn around and come home and beat Chicago. That's kind of what they do. They win 1, they lose 1, they win 1, they lose 1.
You mean they lost to Caitlin Clark and beat Angel Reese? Is that what you're saying?
That's what they did.
Okay.
Although Angel Reese almost just missed a 2020.
Yeah.
19 points, 20 rebounds. So she did her thing.
Still, it's funny. Caitlin leading the WNBA in assists. Angel Reese leading the WNBA in rebounds.
Yeah. And I think Indiana, didn't they win again yesterday too?
I believe they did.
Yeah. There was some unpleasantries after that game between the coaches. I think the coach from Seattle, I'm not sure what her name was, but she was not happy with something that went down at the end of the game and got into Christy Sides' face. I'll say it again. Where are all the Christy Sides haters now? Everybody that wanted Christy Sides fired a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, where are you now?
They are 13-15 currently. Started 2-8.
Yeah. Where are you now? Not saying a whole lot. That's where you are. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. So we can talk about all of that. U of A soccer wins big. Nicole Dallin is on a bender. We'll get into what her numbers. We kind of read you where she was going into the game this weekend. We'll update you on where she is now because she's got, and I didn't realize this. I thought she was a fifth year. Nicole's actually a fourth year. So she could play another year. If Nicole Dallin plays a fifth year, she's going to be the all-time leading scorer in this program. I would. She's only 13 goals away right now.
I got a shocking statement for you. If she scores 4 goals per game, she's going to be the leading scorer this year.
Well, it's going to get progressive. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would say in most years, I would say it's going to get progressively harder. But according to Kim Doss, who we had on the show last week, this is not a very good soccer conference.
She didn't sound very impressed with Big 12
this
soccer.
is not a very good soccer conference. So we might see some high-scoring games in this conference to where maybe Nikki could get a goal or two every single night. So we are on. We were already on record watch, but now we're really on record watch after a 4-goal performance yesterday, 3 in play, 1 on a penalty kick for Nicole Dallin. So we'll speak to her in this hour and get her thoughts as well. All right, cricket is also here. We'll wrap up the weekend. She gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather. Charita Stubbs coming up next.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported at Oracle and Steam Pump Way in Oro Valley, Steam Pump Way in Oracle, St. Mary's and Grande and St. Mary's, Prince Road and Flowing Wells, and also 12th Avenue north of Irvington. A 15% chance of showers today, and it is 104 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Introducing Chumba Casino, the thrilling online social casino that's free to play. Head on over to ChumbaCasino.com now to join in on the fun. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Lots of people around town like to talk about the Cats, but there's only one radio station that's the official home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is the flagship home of Arizona Wildcat Sports. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Zero, zilch, nada. Now at Royal Buick GMC. That's right. Get into a new lease with zero out of pocket. Lease the 24 GMC Terrain for $389 a month or the 23 Buick Envision for $399 a month with zero due at signing and all taxes and fees included. Plus, save up to $15,000 off a new GMC Sierra 1500 or get into a new 24 Buick Encore GX starting from $19,990. Pay zero out of pocket with a new lease now at Royal Buick GMC. See dealer for details. Leases are 24 months through GM Financial. OAC, mileage charge of 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year. Sierra and Encore OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options and $529 doc fee. G7689, G7960, B33605, B33725. Offers end 9/3/24. Zero, zilch, nada at Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
It's like you got one of those 250 horsepower engines.
I think 390, 360.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. What do you got?
It's a Hemi 5.7.
Are you out there street racing?
So here's the headline. Cricket, famous for traffic reports, crashes her car going 115 on Speedway. Probably not the best headline. So,
okay,
yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're not jumping over anything like
the Dukes of Hazzard,
right?
No, I want to, though. It's epic.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibration so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh! Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly's doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
Stay informed on all the latest news from McHale Center and Arizona men's basketball by following us on Twitter at Wildcats1290. When news breaks from Tommy Lloyd's team, we will bring it to you on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Let's be clear about something. This is not an overreaction Monday. Preseason games in the NFL are just that, preseason games. They don't mean jack. They don't actually count. And that's a really good thing for one Daniel Jones. You know what would be an even better thing for Danny turnovers? If he stopped turning the ball over. It would be a better thing for Danny interceptions if he stopped throwing interceptions. It would be still a better thing for Jim Carrey to actually look like a franchise quarterback for even one preseason game rather than looking like Jim Carrey trying to play quarterback. Luckily for Danny Carey, this preseason game against the Texans on Saturday did not count. It also definitely did not make anybody feel any better about that $160 million contract the Giants offered him last March. Somebody should tell Daniel Turnovers that it's the preseason because he's showing all of his midseason stuff.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, You guessed it, Dollar Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. As I mentioned in the first segment, I had a chance to get out this weekend and see the Red-Blue game for Arizona volleyball over at Richard Jefferson Gymnasium. Let's find out what the head coach thought of what she saw. Joining us now, second-year boss for the ladies, Charita Stubbs. Pleasure to have you on, Charita. So, Charita, from playing here to assisting here to now being head coach, how many years is this for you here now?
You know, everyone asks me that question, and I just break it down. I was here for 5 as a player. Then I left for a year, came back for 10. So I think that's 15. And then I left for 7, came back in 13. So that's 11. So a long time. How about that?
So that's about 30 years. It's 31 years, it sounds like. You must really. Yeah. So we share something in common. I let the folks know you're from Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. So how does a Cleveland girl get all the way out here to play volleyball at Arizona?
My track coach, honestly, she sent my video here for me for volleyball. And the volleyball coach, assistant coach, was in Cincinnati doing an unofficial visit, looking at an athlete there. Then he decided to drive up to Cleveland based off a video that was sent on VHS. They didn't have a VHS recorder here, so they had to go to the mall to use one to watch my video. And so he came to Cleveland and my school, John Adams, and asked me to make an approach jump and to touch the rim, and I did that and was playing at a local, it was at Kennedy High School that had open gym or something of that nature. And he went over there and watched me play and then brought me out on a visit.
Wow, so you're a John Adams grad.
John Adams, yes. I'm a mighty rebel.
Mighty rebel. Outstanding. So I mean, again, and we don't, I've been here now, I think 16 years. I don't know that I see a ton of young ladies from the Midwest per se that will come here. What was that like for you when you came all the way across country to play out here? What was it like for you to be in this type of new environment as a young lady growing up?
It was definitely overwhelming, mainly because I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me. And when I came here, I'll say a little, but I was really rough around the edges. I was just talking to a teammate a little bit ago today about a gold tooth I used to wear. Had a Gucci symbol on it. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I had my nose pierced, and I didn't comb my hair on purpose. So I would shampoo it and blow dry it, and then it would just wear it out. And so it was a culture shock, to say the very least, coming here. But it was a place I knew I needed to be just to get away from where I was and how I grew up and what that environment was like. I mean, I love my family dearly, but I needed to grow as a person, and look what happened now.
Charita Stubbs joining us, the second-year head coach of Arizona volleyball. So at what point did this happen as a player? Because you said you left, I think, for a year and came back to coach. So at what point did you realize that coaching is probably what you were going to do once you stopped playing?
When Dave made me do it. So Dave Rubio, he actually asked me to coach as soon as I finished playing, and I said, no, I don't want to coach. I don't know how to coach. My teammates don't like me. I don't too much like them. I was a hard player to be around sometimes. And so I went and played overseas. And then when I came back, because I knew I wasn't going back to Cleveland, I didn't want to go back there. So I came back to Tucson, and the position opened up again. And he said, hey, Rita, I really think you should take this job. You're going to be good at it. Well, at that point, I knew I didn't want to go back to France because where I played was nice. I played in Lyon, and I was about 2 hours south of Paris. But I knew I didn't want to go back and find a different team because I wanted to play a higher level. You know, we talk about athletes nowadays not wanting to do a lot of stuff. I didn't want to do a lot of stuff. So I wanted to take the easy way out. So I said, okay, I'll try this coaching thing. And at the time, I was a restricted earnings coach. So I was making a whopping $12,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
I thought I was rich.
So what did Dave see in you that maybe you didn't? Why did he see that he felt like you could coach?
I think he saw my passion for the game, and I'm a competitor. I love to win and everything that I do. And so I think he saw that, and he saw that I had a way with people. I get it a little bit now, but, it was just I knew how to relate and be around people. And I have a soft spot for people who have had struggles in life.
Charita Stubbs joining us, the new, second year, I should say, head coach of Arizona volleyball, replacing her mentor and the legendary Dave Rubio. Now, that's never easy for anyone to have to replace somebody that's been around that long, and obviously you and Caitlin Lowe have both kind of had to do that here at this university. Was that scary at all for you to know, oh my gosh, Dave's been here for 20 something plus years, 30 years now, I got to come in and be the next person? Was that scary at all for you when you start thinking about the possibility of that you might be the person that would have to take on that challenge?
Absolutely. Dave has done a phenomenal job, and to know that I was actually here before he came and then to be here doing what he's doing after, he's retired, there's a long list of things that he's accomplished and that he instilled in me. And so, by nature, I'm always trying to do things to make sure that I uphold the standard that he's had and what he was used to, and, putting my own little twist on it here and there. But nonetheless, it's a scary place to be, coming behind someone that's been here for so long. But he's given me several tricks of the trade to, keep myself in a good spot.
All right, let's talk about some of the ladies on this team this year. We'll start with the number one recruit in the country, because obviously that's the big news is one, how Arizona got the number one recruit in the country to come out here. What was the attack plan to try to get a player like Carly Cisneros to come play here at Arizona?
It was a matter of going after her and communicating, and, she reached out. So it was a mutual interest there. And in the beginning, I don't know how familiar you are with the recruiting world in volleyball, we'll get a lot of interest from, top candidates right off the bat until it's time to actually have that conversation, meaning being able to talk to them on the phone. So it was one of those things, if I could just keep things going and talking to her coach and, keep us in a good spot, that by the time we get on the phone, I know that I can at least get you to engage with me. And then if I can get you on campus, I think, many people will say, oh, I love it here. This is a great place. But you don't necessarily know that unless you come and visit it. So she had been here before. We didn't know that, but she had been here before, and her dad was familiar with Tucson and, Arizona in general. So it's just a matter of being true to oneself. And I knew that she was a Christian and a believer, and so we were able to relate on that fact as well.
You mentioned that last week, and I'm wondering is how Christianity and how religion plays into your program. Is that something that can you engage with every girl that way or on that level, or is that just maybe certain girls that you find that commonality with?
It's not something you can go around and say, hey, this is what I do, but I believe in being a person of my word. And, by nature of that, people are always wondering, well, how are you this way or why are you this way? And then it comes up in conversation. There's a Bible on my desk in my office. And, they'll ask, what'd you do yesterday? And I'll say, I went to church. And so just by nature of conversation, you see that. But more importantly, it's about acting out the way that you're supposed to be. And I truly believe that, God takes over from there. He places people where they need to be in the right midst of who I am. One of the things I learned from when I was at NC State is I have to be true to myself. And if I can't be true to myself and who I am, then I'm no good for anyone. So we're going to be Rita.
And I want to ask you about the middle blockers, because I know that was obviously the position you played. And I know it was always something that Dave always tried to find. You mentioned last week that you felt like you had one of the toughest groups that you've ever had in that position. What makes a tough middle blocker?
It's one of those individuals that is okay with running from antenna to antenna and jumping up in the air every time with possibly never getting set. So if you have that grind, that wherewithal to be able to do that, then you have someone that understands what you're going through, and then, you implement getting the ball to them more and challenging them. Middle blockers have to be competitors, and it's probably the one position that in a lot of ways, and I can say this because this was me, that that knows the least about the game, but can impact the game in the highest way. So, for example, we don't have to be very educated in volleyball. I know I wasn't when I started playing. I was just athletic. And Dave said, hit it here, and I just did that. Okay, I'll hit it here. Don't know how, but nonetheless, I didn't see anything that was in front of me. But now the game has evolved so much more. You do want the players that understand it more. But this group is probably, I'm trying to go back in my head, and since I said that last week, I can't remember a group where there was 4 athletic, dynamic, interchangeable middles that we've had in our program. I mean, we've had 2, we've had 3 at a time, but I don't know that we've had 4 at a time.
Who do you need to be your biggest leader this season?
I need Jalen Hodge to be a leader this year. I need her to share her 5th-year experience out there with the group. I need Jordan Wilson to be able to be who she is. And, just by nature, she's dynamic and has this great personality and just loves to be impactful. And, she likes to be on show, display. And so I need her to feel comfortable doing that. I need Carly to be her steady Eddie self, which I think that she's capable of doing. And then we need the setter to have, life out there to engage the players, to get them going and kind of bringing a fire that hasn't been in that position in terms of physically. You need that person to step up and do that.
And obviously a little bit different scheduling this year. And in most years, we've had 2 home tournaments, just 1 this year. Was that done by design? Is that kind of maybe the way it's going to be moving forward in this new conference?
We do have 2 home tournaments. It's the 1st and 4th weekend. We'll have that, but we're doing an exhibition game this year. That's the new piece that we're doing, getting ready for the Big 12. Normally, we just have our inter-squad scrimmage where we open it up to the fans, but this year the McHale isn't finished yet, so we did it a week early in RJ, and then we'll go off and play this weekend.
You're right.
We'll go to Northern Colorado.
I missed the Wildcat Classic, so you'll have 4 preseason tournaments this year that you'll
4
travel
preseason
to.
tournaments. Yes.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Hey, Rita, we always appreciate a chance to talk to you and have you on the show. Always great to have more Cleveland people here making their name in the city of Tucson. Best of luck this season, and we look forward to watching you guys compete in this new conference.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Charita Stubbs, 2nd-year head coach of your Arizona Wildcats volleyball team. Nicole Dowling scored 4 goals this weekend, yesterday, to get Arizona Soccer their 2nd victory of the year. We'll talk to her next. DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported: Grant and Country Club in Grant, 12th Avenue north of Irvington, Prince Road and Flowing Wells, St. Mary's in Grande, and also in Oro Valley, Oracle and Steam Pump Way. 15% chance of showers and 104 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
It is the weekend. Woo!
Peach Mania and the Green Chili Roast tomorrow and Sunday.
Green chili, what? Wait, what?
Green Chili Roast. They'll roast up the green chilies for you.
I'll be there.
I know, right? You can buy like a 50-pound burlap sack
Nothing
of chilies.
smells better than green chilies roast.
So good, right?
I don't know what I'm doing yet for fun this weekend.
You're going to the mud pit.
I don't think I'm going to the mud pit.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. The thing about the NFL preseason is almost everybody thinks they've got a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl, including the Miami Dolphins. How do I know? Owner Stephen Ross, the guy who writes the checks in Miami, quote, "I think we certainly are a contender for the Super Bowl." Well, they had best contend for a Super Bowl. He just dropped a $212 million contract on his quarterback. I'm Jim Rome. All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Please appreciate having head coach Charita Stubbs from Arizona Volleyball joining us. Let's flip the script to another popular Wildcat ladies sport, and that is soccer. Arizona off to a 2-0 start to the season, and one of the reasons is because of the outstanding play of one Nicole Dallin. And Nicole, am I pronouncing your last name correct? Is it Dallin or Dallin? Dallin.
Yeah.
Yes, Nicole Dallin joins us now. Nicole, 4 goals yesterday. Have you ever scored? First of all, have you ever scored a hat trick? I guess they call it a haul. That was the first time I'd heard a haul before. I'd never heard. I don't know if I've ever seen too many people score 4 goals in a game before.
I actually learned that yesterday also. Not in college. I've never scored a hat trick. That was my first one. My first haul also, obviously. But in high school and club soccer, it happened pretty often for me. But I was happy to be able to do that in my college career.
So is it the same, like you said, you maybe done that before in club, in high school. Is it the same feeling when you get into a game and you just, we so many times hear like pitchers in baseball talk about how they felt it coming in out of the bullpen. Did you kind of have a feeling that it could be that kind of day for you?
I actually didn't. I had a self-talk with myself that I have all the tools and resources to be great. I just have to execute them on the field. Every game I get the same nerves, the same pregame nerves. But on the field, my job is to score goals. So any opportunity I can get, I like to try to take the best with that and run with it. But yesterday I had no idea after one there was going to be 3 more.
So when you get those nerves, when those nerves are going before the game, what do you do to calm yourself down, to bring yourself back to where, you can compete at a high level?
My pregame nerves pretty much last up until the first whistle. I like to give myself a couple big deep breaths, and then I just focus on making my first pass. And once I do that, I'm pretty settled in.
Interesting. You focus on just the first pass, the first touch is kind of what brings you into that. Do you have any routines, pregame routines you do, something you eat, music you listen to? What's kind of your thing?
I kind of like to stay away from having a specific routine just because if I am not able to do it on one day, I don't want that to predetermine how I go into a game. I'm not a superstitious person at all. I believe that you can control the way that you play. So, yeah, that's probably my only thing is making sure my first touch is clean, my first pass is connected with one of my teammates. And that usually sets me up for a pretty good game.
Pleased to be joined by Nicole Dallin, a senior forward for Arizona Soccer. 5 goals in 2 games. So you're starting to creep up on the history books here, Nicole. And I have to admit, I thought you were a 5th year, but you're actually only a 4th year, right?
This is my 5th COVID year. Actually, I didn't get any minutes my freshman year. So technically my 4th year playing.
So you were here
on the
20
field.
then. Okay, so 20 was your true freshman year.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
so you are a 5th year. Okay, I was about to put you on the spot and ask you if you were coming back next year because and then the first segment we were saying if she comes back next year, she's definitely going to be the all-time leading scorer in program history. Do you think about that? I mean, you're 20 goals now, I believe 7th on the list right now. You would need 14 to break the record. Is that anything you think about at all?
It's definitely a thought that I've had. But to get me through the season, I genuinely try to just take it game by game, not make it so intense for myself. Remember that soccer is a game that I play. It's not who I am. And making or breaking the record isn't going to determine what a successful season looks like for me. So while I think about it, it's not something that is number one priority for me. I just want to help the team out as much as possible.
It's interesting you say that. Soccer is what I play, but it's not who I am. So what are some of the things that define who Nicole Dallin is?
Off the field, I'm a student, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm now a fiance.
Congratulations.
So a lot of things. Thank you so much. There's a lot of things that put my perspective back into you're more than just a soccer player.
So are you planning the wedding? Is that coming up soon, or is that kind of down the road?
Yes, I'm planning. I get married in December.
Oh.
My mom has been helping me out a ton. His mom has been helping me out a ton. So, yeah, I have a lot of helping hands to help me balance that on top of the season. So.
Nicole Dallin joining us from Arizona Soccer, fifth-year senior forward. So how do you feel, obviously being one of the senior leaders on this team, how do you feel about these first two games and how they've gone?
I feel very great. I think that this is the most successful freshman class that we've had even this part of the season. They're the most talented people that we've had come in, which has helped the team be able to build off of what we ended up with last year more easily. It's been a smooth transition for them to learn our playing style. So that's been really great. It's been great to see the coaching styles communicate well with the team. We're able to apply the things that they teach us and coach us. So that's been great. So I'm very hopeful and very excited to see what the rest of the season has to offer.
Yeah, so I asked Megan Chelf this question a few weeks ago when we had her on before the UNLV game. Do you feel like you guys have to make the postseason this year?
Shallowly, yes. It's not something that will determine a successful season, but that is our main goal, is making the postseason, doing all that we can to be great. And that one of the determiners of that would be making the postseason. So definitely one of our team goals, something that Megan and I are pushing the team to look at and realize that each game counts. So, yes.
What do you like about leading this team alongside Megan? She was telling us about the captain's practices, and I asked her, I asked Megan how she brings the hammer down when she has to bring the hammer down. How does Nicole bring the hammer down when maybe things aren't going the way that the captains want them to, and we got to get the rest of the group on the same page?
Leading with Megan, and now we had another addition to the captains, Gianna Christensen. Leading with the two of them, I think that we have a really great dynamic. Megan's able to kind of get in people's faces, while I'm not. I don't really bring that energy. So we balance each other out a lot, and we're excited to see what Gianna will bring to the table with that. As far as bringing the hammer down, I try to remember that all the team, they all want the best for the team. We're all human. We're going to make mistakes. It just is a determiner of those mistakes is the effort that we put in. So that's a big thing that I like to bring to the team is even if you're not having the best day, even if your touch is off, you can't connect a pass to save your life. It happens to the best of us. Just make sure effort is there. And that's one of the things that Megan and I have decided to lead with this season is bringing the intensity but also making people feel the most comfortable to bring the best out of them, to make them feel the best that they need to feel to do great for the team.
Now, did you spend the whole summer here in Tucson? Do you play in any of on any of the summer soccer circuits here in the United States?
So I got to Tucson in July, and then we had captain's practices for 3 weeks. When I was home in California, I opted out of playing for a team this summer. I played last year, but I had surgery this past March on my knee, and I didn't want to commit to a team when I knew I was 100%. Just to kind of keep the pressure off and let me focus on building back my muscle, getting my knee to where it needed to be without feeling the pressure of having to perform for a team.
How do you feel then in terms of where you are? Do you feel like you're at 100%? I mean, you scored 5 goals, so I think people on the outside would say she's 100%, but do you feel like that?
Yes, definitely a night and day difference of where I've been at the past 4 years. It's some knee problems have kept me out of stuff, so finally deciding to just get that surgery done, I've noticed great results from that, and I'm so grateful for the athletic training staff that we have on campus that have helped me make that decision. So, yeah.
All right, 6 goals on the season total for the team. You scored 5. Shanti Weddington has the other goal. That's a new name. Tell us about Shanti.
So Shanti is the best. She is a great teammate. When she scored that goal, I was so happy for her. You could just see on her face that she was so excited, and that's always the best when you see people score their first college goal, because it is such a a hard thing to do, especially breaking through that first one. And I just told Shanti, always remember your first. You're going to carry that with you forever. But yeah, she's a great teammate. She's always asking the team what she needs to do for them and how she can help them out. And she's always showing up, bringing the energy every day at practice. So she's great.
And how, we don't want to look past Northern Arizona, but there is this thing on the schedule Sunday against one of the best programs in the country down in Chapel Hill. How excited is this group to have a chance to go down and play a team like North Carolina?
The team is definitely excited, something that we've been looking forward to since our schedule came out. Just getting the opportunity to go out there is going to be great for the team, great for the experience, especially for the younger girls. I think for the older girls, we know that soccer can go any which way. As long as we bring our best to the table that day, I think that we're gonna see a good game.
And what's your fiance's name, Nicole?
His name is Cole.
Okay, so what is Cole and Nicole? Cole and Nicole, I like that.
Yeah.
What are we dancing to for the first dance in December?
Our first dance is Biblical by Callum Scott.
Tom Scott?
Callum
Scott. All right. We'll have to go back and maybe play that in the next break and let folks hear that song for sure. Nicole, hey, continued success. We're already excited about obviously what you and this team have done. Looking forward to how you guys compete in this new Big 12 conference. And after we dispatch of Northern Arizona at home on Thursday night, so come out, watch the ladies, 7 o'clock on the Murphy Field pitch at Mulcahy Stadium. They're going to hop on a flight and go down and play one of the best teams in the country in North Carolina. And we wish you guys best of luck Sunday down there as well. Thanks so much, Nicole.
Thank you.
Nicole Dallin, senior forward for the Arizona Wildcats, currently 7th all-time in scoring at the University of Arizona. We'll get into her numbers a little bit more, where she is, who's on the horizon, and where she needs to go in this, what will be, obviously, she is a 5th year, her final season here for the U of A. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Do so in hour number 2, the 4 o'clock hour. Much more still straight ahead. Brent Brennan, Dino Babers, and you on the phones. He's J.W. Madden. She's Cricket. My name is David Kelly. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Campbell south of Prince Road and some slowing on Campbell south of Prince, Grant Road and Country Club, Prince Road and Flowing Wells and in Oro Valley, Oracle and Steam Pump Way. There is a 15% chance of showers in 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Plumbing, they'll help you with drain cleaning, water treatment, sewer repairs, and replacements. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected plumbing experts at coolwillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's coolwillies.com. coolwillies.com.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners. But you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
If you own more than 5 Arizona Wildcats hoodies, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Marco!
Hello.
Marco!
Polo!
In a giant pool of business competitors, don't be the one left unseen and out of reach. If you're a business owner and need help with your online presence, let's make it happen. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Boost your website, boost your findability, boost your reputation, boost your business.
Marco? Yes, I'm Marco.
Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
Over the years, LearnerRow has helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that LearnerRow is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
LearnerRow is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh! Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly is doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SCORE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SCORE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SCORE.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of the Jim Rome Show. Rich Eisen and D-Day on the Sports Tip.
You know, this is vastly different. There's a lot of clapping, a lot of hugging, a lot of handshaking.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's D-Day on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And we've got some breaking news to start this 4 o'clock hour of the show, hour number 2 on this Monday. So glad you could be with us. It is a big week in Chicago. The Democratic National Convention will be taking place. The coronation of the party's nominee, Kamala Harris. Tonight, on night number 1, it has just been announced that Golden State Warriors and Team USA basketball head coach, Arizona Wildcat alum Steve Kerr, will be speaking tonight at the Democratic National Convention. We do not have a time. I'm seeing now that it's going to be in the 8 p.m. hour, which is the hour that we will be on the air during that hour. So if there's an opportunity for us to carry that live for you, we will absolutely carry Steve Kerr, the Arizona Wildcat grad, and his comments at the Democratic National Convention tonight. Very outspoken. He's always been outspoken throughout his years as a head coach about his feelings on various issues. This is, although an arena, it's one thing to speak your mind in the locker room and in the interview room after a basketball event or prior to a basketball event or after practice, but this is a large departure from what we've seen from Steve Kerr. I don't know that we've seen him, J-Dub, in this type of venue speaking on his thoughts before.
No, I mean, I know that he's got a mic in front of him so often after school shootings, and he's very open and honest, obviously, because of his dad, Dr. Malcolm Kerr, and the experience he had when he was 18. He just speaks from the heart as far as that's concerned. All I do know is DK's Steve Kerr might as well be Forrest Gump because Ronald Reagan invited him to the White House after his father was killed. He went to the White House for the next 5 presidents, from winning NBA championships with the Bulls, with the Spurs, and now as a head coach with the Warrior. He's met every single president since the mid-'80s.
Do you think... How old is Steve Kerr? He's probably a little bit older than me.
He was a
so
freshman in
probably
83, I want to say 84, because he missed a year because he got injured. So his senior year was 87, 88. So 83 he was a freshman.
You got to wonder what's next for him. I mean, he's won. I mean, how many more NBA titles can you win? Maybe one more just to say, hey, we went down for a year, we came back and won it again.
I would imagine living somewhere in San Diego anonymously. And I only say that because
politics is not in his future.
No, I don't think so.
No.
He could be. He's very well spoken. He could definitely go down that path if he so choose.
Hey, another Steve has done it. Steve Garvey.
Yeah. I just know Steve's been, nonstop. He's gone nonstop, right?
Yeah.
Ever since he was here on campus as a freshman at the U of A, he really hasn't had. I mean, he went right out of his playing days into broadcasting, from that to being the GM of the Suns, back into broadcasting. Now he's been the head coach of the Warriors. I don't think he's really had a year off since he was drafted, more or less.
Yeah, the man deserves a break. We're hearing rumbles that he may not coach the USA basketball team again. He's won 2 gold medals as the head coach there. So that's a possibility.
He was the head coach of the World Games 2 years ago.
So this was his first Olympics?
This was his first Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I know Spoelstra's involved. He's definitely younger and is one of the coaches that they're trying to groom to be potentially. The whole idea, the Colangelos started all this, right? Like, just really quick aside. People who don't know the story, in 1992, they put the Dream Team together with the idea that there wasn't continuity. Picking a group of 12 college players that were rotating every single 2 years for the World Cup and then 4 years for the Olympics. When they'd made the determination to put NBA players involved, the Colangelos set that situation up to try to get as many people connected and have continuity between the coaching staffs, the trainers, and have player holdovers to teach some of the younger players what it really took, the sacrifices it takes. FIBA basketball, guys, is 10-minute quarters. So it's a completely different game than that entertainment-based NBA style. So having the right people involved, and I know that Coach Kerr's been involved with the national team now at different varying levels for quite a while. I think it's up to him. I don't know that he's going to get fired from that role, but maybe he doesn't want to do it long term. I know Krzyzewski did 3, I want to say. That's about the longest tenured coach they'd had. Otherwise, it's really guys like Spoelstra Spoelstra was the assistant coach this year. You expect him at some point, either next World Cup or next Olympics, to take over that position. I don't know about Coach Kerr, how long he'll be in that position.
Well, it appears, I'm looking at the rundown here tonight. It appears that Steve Kerr is first on the docket to speak tonight. The event tonight is being hosted by Tony Goldwyn, the actor from Ghost, who played the bad guy there. If you remember that movie, great movie.
I do.
And then Steve Kerr will speak among the others that are scheduled to speak tonight. Hilary Clinton and the Honorable James E. Clyburn, the congressman from South Carolina. So Steve Kerr is on the lectern with some pretty big wigs tonight in the Democratic Party. So interested to hear what he has to say this evening. Again, the convention is scheduled to start around 5. Well, it's actually already started, but the speaking portion of it tonight will start around 5. If we have the opportunity to carry that, we will definitely do that coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We appreciate Nicole Dallin for joining us. Great to hear that she'll be getting married this December, and that she it's funny, she was talking about her. I kind of figured that when I asked her about how she leads with Megan Shelf and she mentioned Gianna Christensen, I kind of figured Megan was kind of maybe the you need like kind of thunder and lightning, kind of the good guy, bad guy, and maybe Megan's the one that's kind of a little bit, rougher in terms of spreading the message, whereas Nicole is kind of the one that kind of evens it all out. You need those different kind of leaders on a team.
The most impressive takeaway for me, honestly, DK, was when you asked her about pregame routines and superstitions.
Yeah.
And she said specifically she does not have any because she doesn't want to get to game day in the morning and not have your lucky sneakers, not have that cap that you've worn if you don't have that go-to security blanket. And I just was blown away by that because that's a really deep concept. If you think about it, a lot of people, they really like having that thing they can lean on, right? But not having the routine, it just means that she's focused and also that she gets nervous. One of the leading scorers, in U of A history, and she gets nervous before every game, before a first touch. There's that lead by example, and then there's that, hey, I've been there, done that. Maybe I wasn't as confident as you were. You're a freshman, I'm a senior. I remember what it was like walking on campus. Let me tell you some things about a lot of verbal leadership like that is needed as well. But sometimes, DK, just going out there every day, being half an hour early to practice and staying late and all those things, leading by example is about as impactful as it gets.
Had you heard of a hall, J-Dub? I had never heard of a hall.
No, I don't think I've ever heard that term.
Of that.
No.
Yeah, very interesting. A hall, 4 goals. Let me tell you where she is now on the list all time. She has scored now 5 on the season. She entered with 15, so she's got 20. She's now 7th all time in Arizona Wildcat history. She passed Christine Keeley yesterday, Renee Cuellar yesterday. I saw Renee play. London King, who both has scored 17. Keeley scored 18. Now Dallin has 20. She's 3 goals behind 6th place, which is currently being held by Jasmine Ponce and Candace Wilkes. Jada Talley, 5th all-time at 24. Nikki Jones at 25. I'll give you her married name because we've actually talked about Nikki Jones before. Nikki Jones Bickerstaff, who is married to former Cleveland Cavaliers head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, also played here. She's 4th all-time in Arizona history. Then Gabby Stoyan, obviously saw Gabby play here. Mallory Miller is 2nd. Gabby with 29. Mallory with 32. And then Jill Aguilera, who broke the record in 21 with 33. But Jill was the first of the 5-year. Well, she was the first of the 5-year players to do so. And so, again, I always point this out because I think it's important to, because we are in a little bit of a different era with players being allowed to play 5 seasons versus 4, and so you've had a lot of these records in recent years, primarily on the women's side of things, because the women's athletes at the University of Arizona generally stay for the entire time. So you've got more records like that. Sam Thomas obviously became the all-time leader in games played at the University of Arizona on the basketball side because she was here for 5 seasons versus 4 for I forget who held the record before, who'd only played here for 4 seasons. So you're seeing a lot of these records now being broken because of that 5th year. I think, though, it's important not to forget the ones that did it in just the regulation 4 years as well. And so for me, I count, Mallory Miller, maybe in 2nd place, but still, in terms of games played, she is the all-time greatest scorer in the history of the University of Arizona.
Do you know what it's called when a player scores 2 goals?
That's that's a brace.
Brace.
That's a brace. I do know that. Brace, hat trick. I did not know Hall, and I don't know what it is for 5. That would be interesting.
I would imagine the number of times somebody scored 5 goals.
That's the record.
Rare.
The record
Very
is at Arizona. There's two young ladies who have scored 5 goals in a game. So she came up a little bit short of that, but that has been done. Joined by the third member of our program, Cricket.
Hello.
Cricket. So, Cricket, J-Dub, I went to 80s night.
You did?
I went to 80s night on Saturday.
Excellent.
It was fun. We had it was a really good crowd. It was a little hot. I mean, if you were out there dancing, you were like sweating with it about the first song.
Ooh.
Now, you said it was Breakfast Club?
Yeah, it was Breakfast
Right,
Club.
yeah.
So basically what that meant, it wasn't like they were playing all in fact, I think they only played the one song we all know, which is Don't You Forget About Me. But they played the movie on television in the background.
That's
so
cool.
that's kind of
I assumed it meant like music that came out around the same time as the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
That was what I assumed, yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. First time my wife had been there. I think I've convinced her to go back. The only reason she went was because they had a night scrimmage, and I said, well, I'm going to go to the scrimmage, which won't be over till like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And I was like, and then we could go over there. And she's like, okay, well, if you're going to be at the scrimmage, I'll go to the scrimmage with you, and then we can go dancing. So that's what we did. It was fun.
Good times.
It was a good time. So we got to get you guys down there next.
Yeah,
I want to see Cricket dance.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No.
I came from this county where they outlaw dance, and so like we weren't allowed to dance.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Like,
so
until one
what's the name of
guy
that
came,
place?
And he was very adamant that we should be able to dance.
Is John Lithgow, was he your preacher?
Yeah, John Lithgow was about the scariest character ever in that movie for sure. Yeah,
Hey,
without
that
a
was
doubt.
great. He was really good in that movie. That was one. And Footloose has always been
He's
one
good
of my
in
favorite
everything.
movies.
I love John Lithgow.
One
He's
of the
great.
great movies of the 1980s, for sure. So how'd the weeds go?
It's never ending.
And never ending.
Never ending. And it's
Oh,
so
boy.
dang hot. You know, you really can't even do anything. Yeah, so.
I feel bad for you.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's just, expected, I guess.
Expected. How about
Yeah.
you, J-Dub? What'd you do?
We're kind of, we still haven't gotten our appliances delivered. They're coming this Saturday.
That's right.
So,
You spent a haul
some
on those,
prep for
right?
that kind of stuff. Yeah, getting rid of some clutter. Kind of similar to what you and your wife did a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Cleaning up some things more than anything. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I got up early on Saturday and wet mopped the floors, trying to do my honeydew chores.
Got to
be that guy for sure.
You're a good kid.
I am a good kid. I think so anyway. All right, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported at Ina and Old Father, Keno Parkway and 36th Street. Campbell south of Prince, a little bit of slowing there. Grant and Country Club and some backups at that intersection. And also Prince Road and Flowing Wells. There's about a 35% chance of showers after about 6 tonight and 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Why are we named Wildcats Radio 1290? You want answers? Because we outwork everyone else in town to bring you the very best coverage of the Cats. That's why we are the home of the Arizona Wildcats. The one and only Wildcats Radio 1290. Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners, but you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
Like us on Facebook at Wildcats 1290 for all the latest news on the Arizona Wildcats, including exclusive original content and interviews. This is the exclusive home of Arizona football. Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Mike Yann with NFL Network now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Broncos rookie quarterback Bo Nix impressed again with a strong performance in his second consecutive preseason showing. Nix completed 8 of 9 passes for 80 yards and a touchdown against the Packers. In Sunday's other game, 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy saw his first preseason action playing the entire first quarter against the Saints. Elsewhere, Raiders quarterback Gardner Minshew has won the starting job over Aiden O'Connell. Head coach Antonio Pierce calling Minshew's personality energetic and his leadership infectious. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reporting the Vikings have agreed to terms with veteran corner Stephon Gilmore on a 1-year, $10 million deal. Some injury news for you. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero is reporting Steelers running back Jaylen Warren could miss multiple weeks after injuring his hamstring against the Bills. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
All right, Diamondbacks had won 6 games in a row as they hit the road for a 9-game road trip, starting things off in Tampa Bay. Now, when we left you on Friday night, they were actually doing pretty well. They were up 2-0, but that quickly turned into a 4-2 deficit. It looked like the D-backs might stage a rally. They were down to their last strike in the 9th.
Diamondbacks down to their final strike. Corbin Carroll hits a fly ball to right field. Corbin Carroll has done it again, and we are tied. Down to their final strike. Corbin's 12th, and it's 4-4.
This team never stops.
Unbelievable.
He got a changeup, and he crushed it.
But it did not go the way you had hoped, as the game one of the series would go to extra innings, and the Rays would find the way to win it.
1 ball, no strikes. Ryan Helsley maybe. The pitch grounded up the middle, hits the mound, and off the glove of Alexandra. Base hit center field. DeLuca to third base. Now the ball is juggled by McCarthy. Here comes DeLuca, and the Rays win. Oh, boy. On a night where the Rays made 3 errors and the Diamondbacks play clean defensively, it all comes apart at the final possible moment.
Yeah, 5-4 the final in game one, so that snapped the 6-game winning streak for Arizona, and then the Rays just absolutely beat up on the Snakes Saturday.
Straight series, second longest stretch in their franchise's history, which we know is exactly as long as the Rays, the 27th season. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's Floro throwing high drive deep to right field towards the corner. Grichuk back near the wall at the pole, and it's gone. Home run right around the pole. He curled it right around the right field foul pole, and the Rays lead 6-1.
And that would be the final, 6-1 on Saturday night. Zach Gallen took the loss, allowing 4 runs on 9 hits in 5 innings of work. More dramatics on Sunday. This was a game in which it looked like the Diamondbacks were going to get the doors blown off. They were down 6-0 at one point. They trailed 6-3 in the 9th again, like Friday night, with 2 outs and a chance to tie.
Rays 2 outs away from the sweep. 1-1. Hit high. It's hit deep. Back it goes. Back goes. It is gone. Second time in this series, the D-backs get a game-tying homer in the 9th inning. And we are all square at 6 on Adrian Del Castillo's 2nd of the year.
How about the rookie just called up from AAA Reno? Hit a walk-off home run on the homestand, got a game-tying home run there, but alas, this one would go to 12, and the Rays would finish it off.
Jackson at third. Wall's run means nothing. Again, 7-7, 12th inning, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. The pitch. Swinging a line drive on the left. It drops, base hit, and the Rays win! Dylan Carlson, the hero. Tampa Bay finishes the homestand with a clean sweep of the hottest team in baseball.
3 wins for the Rays, and not the way you want to start the road trip for the Diamondbacks, losing twice in the walk-off fashion for Tampa Bay. Afterward, Torey Lovello's thoughts on the loss Sunday and the road, or the series, I should say, in Tampa.
There's some really good moments and some really identifiable moments where we got to improve and continue to play D-back type of baseball. I got to bridge over to how proud I am of this team, right? We're losing and we're getting no hit, and all of a sudden we're back in the game and we force extra innings. And, you know, Corbin scratches out a knock and then hits a left-on-left home run that gets us right back into the game. So it's 6-3. We felt like we could maneuver a little bit and maybe create a little bit of traffic and give us a chance to put up a big cricket number, and we did. You know, with Dell hitting that home run, it totally re-energized our dugout. We fought hard. We fought really hard. So there's no quitting this team. They're hungry, and that's what I'm going to focus on as we travel down to Miami.
And speaking of Adrian Del Castillo, he came up in the 3rd inning tonight with the bases loaded, and he hit a grand slam. 4-1 right now. The Diamondbacks lead the Miami Marlins. That game is in the bottom of the 3rd. Adrian Del Castillo. So he hit a walk-off 2-run homer, or actually, I'm sorry, it was a walk-off solo home run, a 3-run home run in Tampa Bay, and now he's got a grand slam in Miami tonight. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound for the Diamondbacks. So far, 2 2/3, I should say, a run on 4 hits. He has allowed a home run. And the pitcher for the Miami Marlins is Adam Oler, and Adam Oler has also allowed, obviously, the grand slam to Adrian Del Castillo. The first of 3 games tonight.
Del Castillo gives it a ride. Deep center. Way back, and gone. It's a grand slam in Miami for the Miami rookie. For the expression on Torey Lovello's face in that dugout, he is beaming down there. And the kid who handed out tickets to virtually all of downtown Miami just hit a grand slam out of here, and it's 4-0 Diamondbacks.
Failed to mention that. The Miami Hurricane, Adrian Del Castillo, swinging his lofty bat there in the city that he used to call home. Great to see for that youngster and the way that he is swinging the bat right now. 4-1 again, Diamondbacks leading the Marlins, trying to snap the 3-game losing streak and get back on the winning trend. They begin the day 4 games behind the Dodgers in the National League West Division, and in terms of the wild card, they are now 1 game behind San Diego and 2.5 games up on the Atlanta Braves.
You know, there's so many great stories in sports. I mean, you know, made-for-TV drama is great and all, but the real drama, if you want to see real drama, DK, get involved in watching sports because it's everywhere. But to me, one of the greatest stories is just that, is when a guy grows up as a ball boy for a franchise in the shadow of the stadium, watching Steph Curry make 3-pointers in Charlotte because he grew up on that sideline. And that's a little bit of a different because his father was actually a player there. But those stories of kids who grow up dreaming one day to be able to play for or against a certain team and then hitting a grand slam in the stadium that you wish you could play in someday. You know, stories like that they're always the best.
I mean, absolutely the best. Absolutely the best for sure. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. If you are not with us at the top of the hour, some breaking news. Arizona Wildcat basketball grad Steve Kerr is scheduled to speak tonight on the first night of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, and that is scheduled to begin here at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. So if we can bring that to you, we absolutely will hear the thoughts of the Arizona alum, Steve Kerr, tonight in Chicago. One of the things that you're also going to hear in this hour is head coach Brent Brennan, as the Wildcats broke camp on Saturday after their scrimmage. It was pretty much entirely the entire practice. They did some warm-up stuff early on, but primarily it was scrimmage after that. A lot of working with the tablets. They're going to be using tablets this year in college football. It still boggles my mind that we're using tablets in high school before we're using tablets in college.
Remember, like back in the 80s when the NFL like incorporated those like Polaroids?
Yeah.
Remember, like they would bring out a book, and there was really that floppy kind of Polaroid style paper that was literally just some camera at the top of the stadium looking down at the sets. They wasn't even concerned about any movement. It was really just, and they would bring them over to the players. We've had the capability of having Wi-Fi tablets on sidelines for 15 years now? Yeah, it's about time.
And you know, and there were a lot of breaks. There was a lot of breaks in the scrimmage, and we were kind of trying to figure out, why are there so many breaks? Why are they kind of just there? You know, and I think, and we found out afterward when head coach Brent Brennan spoke, was that they were kind of working with the tablets, going through them after kind of every series of plays to kind of get a feel for how that's going to work once they get down there. I mean, technology is coming into college football. It's you've got the tablets, which are coming in this year. You've got the helmet communication, coach-to-player communication. So one offensive player and one defensive player will have the opportunity to converse, or at least to now again I'm imagining I'll have to get clear if it's just the coach's ability to speak to the player and him hear that, or if the player has the ability to speak back. I'm not sure on that part of it there.
So what you're saying is teams no longer have to have a hieroglyph specialist on the sidelines to make the cue cards.
They still have big cards. at least they have during the part of training camp
they
that
better,
we were able
because
to see. They still had cards out there that they were showing.
They have to, because one thing I know about helmet communications is that it's not always going to work.
Yeah.
Even if it works 90% of the time, because the way that's going to work, DK, I don't have the rules in front of me, but if one sideline loses their ability to use it, the other sideline has to as well. That's the way something like that would work. So you got to have a backup plan. I mean, it's great having the ability to communicate with the quarterback in real time. I mean, will really, I think, speed up a lot of those. When there's like a dead ball and the quarterback kind of goes halfway between the huddle back to the sideline to make eye contact and read the signs. To speed that part of the process up, especially for those teams who want to go quick, go no huddle or whatever, is just going to be a huge advantage for them. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the technology added to the college game will affect strategy and X's and O's, and if there's any change for that, because you certainly will be able to relay the information to the players much faster than you would in the past.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to kind of watch them deal with that. I think, who was it? Danny Gonzalez, I believe, was the one that said that it's going to make, it might have been another coach off the top of my head, I'm not remembering, but it's going to make certain coaches, are going to make maybe average coaches better, because they've got this opportunity now to review stuff in game. And, there are coaches out there who, thrived in that arena, being able to make those adjustments and being able to manage the play. But now, just off of, what you see or what your coaches in the sky see, and they're relaying to you on the sideline. And now everybody's going to have this opportunity to actually watch stuff on these tablets during the game. And so it's gonna maybe, I don't know if I'm not gonna say it's gonna even the playing field, because you still obviously have to have talent, but it's going to give teams that maybe aren't as good an opportunity to maybe make quicker adjustments to try to stay in games.
Yeah, I mean, just think of it in terms of what Coach Brennan said when he got on campus. He said, we're going to keep some of the terminology the same. And why are we doing that? Because we don't need to add too much issues with communication. We want to make sure that the communication is as easy as possible and everybody's on the same page. Tablets, helmet communication, communicators, DK, it's all adds to that process. What I think maybe evening the playing field for coaching staffs that weren't as good as communicating with their players and keeping things as simple and concrete as possible may have a little bit more of an advantage having it be visual. Some people are visual learners, but everybody has the same equipment. Let's get it going. I'm ready.
All right, we'll hear from the head coach, Brent Brennan, coming up next. DK on the sports tip. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported I-10 near Houghton westbound, I-10 approaching Houghton Road, Ina and Old Father, Keno Parkway and 36th Street, Campbell south of Prince, and also Grant Road and Country Club. Have about a 35% chance of showers after 6 tonight. It's 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Saucy Nugs, a whole new way to nug. The best nugs are now even better. Wendy's new Saucy Nugs take the nugs you love and sauce them up in bold flavors, including buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and spicy ghost pepper. Try them all today. For a whole new way to nug, it's gotta be Wendy's, a participating U.S. Wendy's.
DK on the sports tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
It's like you got one of those 250 horsepower engines.
I think 390, 360.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. What do you
It's a Hemi 5.7.
Are you out there street racing?
So here's the headline. Cricket, famous for traffic reports, crashes her car going 115 on Speedway. Probably not the best headline.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. All right, you're not jumping over anything like
Dukes of Hazzard,
right?
No, I want to, though. It's epic.
Wildcats Radio 1290. Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Hi, my son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and a comp book for every subject.
Okay, no problem. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a card, please?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 8/24, in-store only, limit 10.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code SHOWER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SHOWER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER for 15% off your first purchase. With over 200,000 five-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free with Lumi's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER to save 15% today.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It's the Sports Machine, Sean Levine, with the Sports Minute. Bo Nix fans, time to get excited, because it's not always number one overall picks, or even first-round picks for that matter, that ends up being the quarterback that shows out. Caleb Williams probably has a pretty good chance of being the best quarterback in this draft. But need I remind you that Baker Mayfield was also a number one pick, and so was Trevor Lawrence and a guy named Kyler Murray. Just because you don't have the first pick doesn't mean you don't have the best quarterback. I'm Sean Levine.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Your chance to get on the show is right now, 520-848-1290. If you want to talk Arizona football, if you want to talk Arizona soccer or Arizona volleyball, those are the three sports in play right now. Cross country also getting going. Don't want to forget about them. But first, we want to hear from the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats as he spoke after the scrimmage on Saturday night at Arizona Stadium. And Brent Brennan was asked about that and what he thought, where he thought the team was at this point 3 weeks into fall camp.
So usually kickers don't usually get a lot of love, but just, what are your impressions of Tyler Loop and what has he shown you so far?
Tyler Loop's a big-time player. He's an awesome leader on our team. I've just been really impressed with how he goes about his work and how dedicated he is. And, I think we can all expect really big things from him.
Do you feel like his leg strength has gotten better? Do you feel like he's starting to extend his range a little bit?
It's hard for me to say because I wasn't here. Since I've been here, it's been outstanding. I don't have the point of reference of being here from when he was a freshman and seeing that development, but obviously he's really strong now.
Brian and Michael.
How's it been going so far with using the tablets and figuring all that out? It looked like maybe you guys were checking them out after each set this time. Is that just to get familiar?
Exactly. Yeah. Just it's new for us too, and so how do we get reps doing that? And so we just built it into the practice plan. I thought it was good.
Danny Gonzalez had said the other day that the tablets can make an average coach really good because now they have this information. Is that there's some gamesmanship that maybe you have to adjust to the adjustments because everyone is able to look at this stuff right away?
Yeah, I think it has a chance for some of those adjustments to happen maybe a little bit faster because you have an exact picture of what you think you saw. Sometimes the game happens pretty fast and you're like, no, this is what happened. And then you look at the film, you're like, oh, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was. Now you have a chance to evaluate that, the next series. And so I think there is value in that. And I think, and especially with, the communication from the coaches that are upstairs and what they see. And so I think it's going to be good.
Michael and then David. Trey Smith was really giving off a strong leadership vibe the other day when he was up here. What can you say just about his character, his makeup, and his presence in the locker room?
Trey Smith is just a really special, person. We've obviously known him for a long time because he played for us at San Jose. He was one of the guys at San Jose State where I could literally set my watch with the time he walked in the building every day. In the last 3 years at San Jose, he's one of those players that you saw in the building every single day of the year, no matter what. Just like that was how committed he is, and how much it means to him. And so he's been a great addition to the team, and the guys on the team here have done a great job of welcoming him into the family. It's been really good.
What enabled him to kind of take off as a player last year?
Well, he would have taken off the year before. He just got injured.
David and then Jason.
Right, what would you say in the first 3 weeks of camp has been the most pleasant surprise for you with this team?
That's a good question. The most pleasant surprise. Shoot, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's different because most of the players that joined us that were new joined us we're already here when I got hired. Sometimes that happens with a freshman, right? You're like, wow, this freshman's really playing great. But those players were here for spring practice, most of them. So you saw that part of it. I do really think this team really. It's really important to them, and I wouldn't say that's a surprise to me, but it's nice to have that confirmed with how they go about their business day to day. The energy they bring to the meeting room, the weight room, the practice facility, the practice environment. I think that part of it has been really, really great.
And on the flip side, what would you say has been the biggest challenge?
I don't know. I think the challenges of football are they change year to year, team to team. I don't know that there's an exact situation that we've been dealing with. It's been specifically challenging. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know that I have a great answer for that. I'm sorry.
Jason and Troy.
The last time we talked, you mentioned narrowing down some of the depth chart, specifically at quarterback behind Noah. Where are you in that process?
That'll start this week. So this is technically like the break of camp for us, even though we're not starting school next week, which is different for me because I think most semester schools start on Monday or start this week sometime. But this is kind of the break of training camp. The players will be off tomorrow, and they give us, the coaches a chance to, start to ramp up some of the conversation and the planning for New Mexico. So that's kind of where we're at.
We had a chance to talk to Marquise Clyburn, and he just, share how he's developed throughout training camp and spring since he's been there and what he's brought to the table. And also, I believe he came to Arizona as a walk-on. Is that still the case right now? Is he a scholarship player now?
So he's a scholarship player. I think we're all really excited about him. Just the acceleration of his development. That's been really exciting.
What has it been like having NFL scouts and coaches come by the facility and check out your team?
Well, I think the cool thing is that I've had so many of those guys say to me how much they've enjoyed their visit here, where they felt like the information they were getting from from Geiska or from the trainers or the, strength staff, Coach Carroll and his staff, or from our coaches, just the communication, the access, like everything we're trying to do is give our players the best chance to play on the next level, so I think it's important when those guys come here that it's a good experience for them. And I think everybody I just mentioned is doing a great job of that. It's really great, really good. I had 2 of them tell me it's the best visit they've had. So I was like, let's go,
Michael and David. How come you guys aren't having like a showcase scrimmage for the students or the fans or whatnot before the season starts?
I think you've seen more and more of that go away over time. Our students aren't here yet, so that doesn't, it's not as big of a deal. But, when that first week of school, we have a game. So they'll get to see the real thing. I think, when you get into those situations, you're always, the closer you get to the start of the season, the more you hesitate to play live football. I know lots of schools don't do anything live in the month of August. We've been able to get some really good live work and some really good situational football, which is kind of what we did tonight. So I feel good about where we're at that way. It's a fine line because you're always, are we getting enough tackling, right? Are we getting enough of that kind of physical? But then you're also like, well, you're also saying to yourself, well, we have a couple really special players. Do we want to play the season without them? So it's a really fine line in terms of getting them game ready and then also putting them at risk, right?
What about just in terms of having an open practice for fans?
Well, we'd done that, our first few months here, you know what I mean? And then as it goes, I think for me, I'm always trying to figure out what's, one of our major, kind of standards for the team is protect the program. And so if when we do that, if there's a lot of information getting out there about what's happening in the practice environment that I think is not going to serve us, then I have to make determinations on how to corral that. And so that would be why. But I think we've had a big group of donors at every practice so far this training camp, and that's been real positive. And early on in camp we had a lot of fans, and so I think people have had a lot of access to our program. I feel good about that.
David, and then our last question, Jason.
Right, you had Coach Peterson here last week. What did you take away most from and like about the message he delivered to your guys?
Well, I mean, Coach Peterson is one of the best coaches in the history of college football. And so anytime you can have somebody like that around your program, I think you're really fortunate. And I'm really grateful for the friendship that he and I have had over the years. And I think there's been lots of head coaches that have helped me on my journey as a head coach, guys that I can call when something comes up, or how have you handled this, or how did you guys practice this, or what was your coaching points on whatever it is. And so having resources like that, for me over the years, it's been lots of people. It's been David Shaw or Dick Tomey or Chip Kelly, or I think that's one cool thing about football is that like coaches actually try to help each other. It's not like there's like no proprietary secrets that you're like they share, and I think that's really good. And I really value my friendship with Coach Peterson.
Last question to Jason.
At this point in camp, only a certain amount of days away from prepping for New Mexico, is this team where you wanted them to be, where you expected them to be in terms of what they look like at camp?
I think we're in a great spot. I really do. I think we have work to do. I'm glad we have 2 weeks of practice left. You know, I mean, that part of it. This stretch right here was a tough stretch. I think we had 6 practices in 7 days. So, like, that's kind of the grinder, one of the grinder kind of parts of camp. And I thought our players did a great job. I thought they showed up for camp and they're in good condition and in good shape. I thought Coach Carroll and his staff did a great job of preparing them for that. And then, you know, our coaches are you know, coaching the heck out of them and, you know, spending every hour of the day, you know, trying to do everything we can to improve our football team. And tonight we did a bunch of stuff that's, you know, stuff, the mechanics of the football and trying to put us in some situations, a 2-minute or, you know, third down or, you know, moving the ball and just like that kind of stuff, get our players used to substituting, special team substitutions and like those things that are, you know, it's hard to simulate what those things feel like on game day. And so trying to get us in the flow of that, and we're going to do a little bit more of that as we get closer to New Mexico.
All right, that's our time.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats football team, Brent Brennan. That was after the scrimmage on Saturday. He initially talked about Tyler Loop, who, I mean, that kid is just absolutely banging the football. I mean, it is not like anything I have ever seen in fall camp from a kicker. He, again, and it's going to be interesting to see how they use him, if they let him kick a lot of long field goals. I mean, we talked about the scrimmage last week where he kicked the 57-yarder, and it could have been good from 67. They actually, you know, had lined up to kick a 67-yarder on Saturday. They didn't kick it. But he had one that was good from 60. I mean, this kid has got a leg on him, and it is going to be fun to watch Tyler Loop kick the football this year. I mean, he is one of the best in the country, and I think I think they've got a really, really good weapon in him right there. He's just not, again, I've never seen, and I've seen a lot of kickers now. I think he's probably the 8th or 9th kicker or maybe even more than that in the 17 years now that I've been doing this, and I've never seen balls fly in like what I've seen from Tyler Loop.
They used to bring him out of the game, right? Didn't Haversick kick long field goals initially, like in his early days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't
he was
let
the kickoff guy.
They didn't let Tyler Loop kick long field goals before. So you asked Coach about his leg strength. Clearly, you know, he was out there kicking. You mentioned that you saw one from 55 that could have been from 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
Clearly, the leg has gotten stronger over the years.
Carries his own bag. I saw him carrying his own bag the other day, his own ball bag. I'm like, bro, like, aren't the freshmen supposed to be carrying your ball bag? He's like, nope, 5th-year senior duties. I'm like, okay. Tells you what kind of young man. I mean, we got a bunch of really solid
carrying their own
dudes on
bags,
this team.
unloading airplanes.
Exactly. We just got a bunch of really solid young men on this football team. Let me tell you. Because if that had been me, I'd have been like, heck yeah, a freshman's carrying my bag. But not Tyler Loop. He carries his own. Good to see. All right, 520-848-1290 again. If Steve Kerr does speak in the next hour, we will carry that for you live here from the Democratic National Convention. The Arizona Wildcats grad is scheduled to be one of the speakers tonight from Chicago, and we'll let you hear what Steve Kerr has to say. Dino Babers also scheduled in the next hour. We'll let you hear what he had to say today after practice number 15 of Arizona football camp, which the Wildcats are now into their week prior to game week as the New Mexico Lobos are on the horizon. DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is here along with Cricket. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions at a reported I-10 near Houghton on westbound I-10 approaching Houghton, Craycroft and Broadway Boulevard, Ina and Old Father, Keno Parkway and 36th Street, Campbell South the Prince Road, some backups and heavy restrictions on Campbell South the Prince, could use Tucson Boulevard instead. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for east central Pima County until 5 this afternoon. 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. And
This
weather
report
together.
is sponsored by Staples Stores. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. In-store only. Offer ends 8/24, limit 10. Save big on back to school at Staples.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com. Code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com. Code BETTER to save 15%.
If you have a Wildcats license plate on your car, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Zero, zilch, nada. Now at Royal Buick GMC. That's right. Get into a new lease with zero out of pocket. Lease the 24 GMC Terrain for $389 a month or the 23 Buick Envision for $399 a month with zero due at signing and all taxes and fees included. Plus, save up to $15,000 off a new GMC Sierra 1500 or get into a new 24 Buick Encore GX starting from $19,990. Pay zero out of pocket with a new lease now at Royal Buick GMC. See dealer for details. Leases are 24 months through GM Financial. OAC, mileage charge of 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year. Sierra and Encore OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options and $529 doc fee. G7689, G7960, B33605, B33725. Offers end 9/3/24. Zero, zilch, nada at Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it. Between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 of the program on this Monday. Hope you are having a great day. Work went well. And the week got off to a great start for you. Countdown to Arizona football. Getting closer and closer. You're just 12 days away from game number 1, show number 1. Let the show begin. I mentioned we went to the scrimmage on Saturday night at the stadium. We come out, and what's happening on Bear Down Field? The first band camp of the year for the Pride of Arizona. They were out there, and Jada, we talked a few weeks ago, and we played the clip from Bobby Wade about when it was an early camp practice, and he told the guys to line up their helmets because they were doing a drill with no helmets, and the helmets were kind of scattered.
Right.
And he told them to line up their helmets. Well, Saturday night out at the band camp, they were marching, but they didn't have they weren't playing instruments. It was just like working on the formation
No
part
pads,
of it.
right? No pads.
Exactly, no pads. But you want to talk about instruments lined up in a precise manner? I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
I could tell you why.
I mean, it looked like the military, like militarily lined up instruments all the way down the field. I was like, I was looking at it, I'm saying to myself, it does not look like there is one trumpet or flute or anything out of order.
So when I was in like 4th grade, I played violin a little in a band. And that was it. Until I got to 6th grade in Las Vegas, and I was in the band and I played trombone. And the thing about it, DK, is trombones are very expensive. And so if you have an instrument that is a prerequisite for you to be in the marching band for the University of Arizona, I think priority number 1 is making sure that you take pristine care of that instrument. So my guess is you saw those instruments lined up, geometrically, because they've had a long history. Those people who are preparing to be freshmen, let's just say, they didn't just join the band. They've been band members for years. They know what it's all about.
I mean, Chad Shootman had his group. I mean, night one, and everything was in order for the Pride, and shining too. Like, we were up on the roof of because I made my wife. I said, "Wife, we got to go drive up to the top of the parking structure so we can take a look at this, right? And so I can get some video of it." And shining, like, it's like you can't show up to a Chad Shootman practice and not have your flute shined up and ready to go. I mean, it was like the lights were shining off
good,
those
play
instruments.
Look good,
exactly.
play good. DK.
Look good, play good. So shout out to the Pride of Arizona for bringing it on night 1 of band camp over on Bear Down Field. I'm sure you'll see them out there if you're cruising around campus. I don't know if I haven't seen them out there. He hasn't. I'm sure he'll get them out there in the hot of the day, because I've seen them out there in the hot of the day as well. But night number 1 was under the night sky, a little bit cooler atmosphere. But when you want to get them really going, you'll get them out there at 100 degrees and make them sweat a little bit. So looking forward to hearing the Pride of Arizona here in a few weeks as they start to go. There's nothing better. And I don't know how. I think Brent Brennan's press conferences on Mondays and Wednesdays, I think it's going to be Monday, Wednesday this year, are going to be a lot earlier than we've seen in the past, because there was always something really cool about we would get out of those like noon, 1 o'clock pressers, and you would have the drum line would be just starting to practice.
Right.
And they're right outside of the stadium, and they're going through their their pre-opening like warm-ups and all of that, and so I don't know if I'm gonna really get to see that, because I think we're gonna be there a little bit earlier in the day than for the coaches' press conferences.
A great opportunity to see the band is on Fridays.
Yes, Bear Down Fridays. Glad you brought that up, J-Dub, because we are going to be back at Illegal Pete's again this year for Bear Down Fridays. And, we got all kinds of good news to tell you about. So we'll be at Illegal Pete's, Bear Down Fridays. The first one will be next Friday. We'll be at Bear Down Friday. Also, this Thursday, we're going to go back to Marana High School for their athletics media day.
It wasn't so good last time.
Hopefully the monsoon stays away this year.
Want to remind the listeners?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so last year.
I was here because I had to be in the studio because I was the only one who could do it. And I remember you guys drove out there, and before you got halfway there, I got different messages from different people, like, is everybody okay? There was the moment where the stadium, the seats got lifted up, right?
Yeah.
And the new field they just sodded like 3 weeks before got completely ripped apart. Yeah.
It was just blown right up.
Trees all over campus got knocked down.
Knocked down, trees down on campus, windows blown out from a lightning strike, including one of our employees at the time. No, it was Dragon Ball.
Oh, Dragon Ball's car.
Dragon Ball's car got blown
Back
out.
window,
the window got blown out. One of the buses, he was on the one side where the buses were. And there was a lightning strike over there that blew out a bunch of windows. I mean, it was a monsoon storm like I have never been a part of. I was just sitting in my car, and the rain was just coming down, and students were like literally trapped on campus until I think I finally got out of there about 6:30, and there were still hundreds of students that were trapped on campus because of that monsoon storm. So hopefully the monsoon stays away, but we will be over at Marana High School on Thursday for their athletics media day. I think they actually are going to scrimmage on Wednesday. Their football team will scrimmage on Wednesday. High school football starts this Friday night. We are working on being at a location for our It's Almost Friday Night shows. We're going to attempt to bring those back again this year. We'll see how the schedule plays out because, unfortunately, Arizona football has a couple of Friday night games this year, so that's and both of those are on the road, which is when we normally would do, because we are at Bear Down Fridays for home games on Saturdays. We would the games that were on the road on Saturdays, we would be out at high school on Friday night, but this year 2 of the games are on Friday night, so that's 7 Fridays that are taken out of the mix right away that we would not be able to get out to high school football and do a show. So I think we're only going to probably get out there maybe not even 3 times.
Well, it's a good thing that if you can't make it out, that you know some guys who do make it out to every game and can fill us in on what we missed.
Absolutely. So hopefully we'll be able to finalize our It's Almost Friday Night show for this Friday. We'll let you know that as we continue to go through the week. And then, of course, everything starts Bear Down Friday. And we'll be back on the mall. Obviously, we'll be back on the mall for Saturday home games again this year. We may be, we at least it appears for the first few games, we'll be in our normal location there on the east side of the mall. But we may be moving around to a different location as the season goes along. So just kind of stay with us, and we'll let you know exactly where we're going to be for all the excitement that's going to be Arizona football. And the first coaches show is a week from tonight. How about that? A week from tonight, you'll get your first Brent Brennan show. That'll be back at Union Public House again this year. So you'll want to head on over there for that, 6:05, or maybe even straight up 6 o'clock every week. Brian Jeffries and Brent Brennan.
You think the hardest working man in Tucson got a nice restful summer before he has to go back to work?
Brent Brennan? You mean Brian Jeffries?
I mean the Brian Jeffries.
Yeah, the Brian Jeffries. Yeah, he and Lamont were way up high in the booth on Saturday night. They sent out a picture of themselves up there watching the scrimmage on Saturday, getting their game face on. I'm sure Kimmy practicing and working on the cadence.
Flipping through barbecue joints in various locales in the Big 12.
Exactly, trying to figure out where they're going to go eat.
Yep.
Because they've never been in these places.
Yep. Hey, Brian, what's your favorite place in the Bay Area to eat? That's not the same question you can ask when it's Morgantown or someplace he's never been to.
Right. Exactly. I think the first one will be Manhattan, Kansas.
There you go.
Manhattan, Kansas. Ran out of gas there one time back around 1990, or almost ran out of gas. We just barely got to Manhattan, Kansas before the car stopped. Driving back across country to go to school. That's a memory I'll never forget. 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on the show. Again, Steve Kerr, Arizona grad, scheduled to speak this hour at the Democratic National Convention. If that happens, while we are still on the air, we will try to attempt to bring you some of that. Also, Dino Babers is coming up straight ahead. I mentioned earlier, the Mercury murked. Let's get those. Let's let you hear a little bit about what the Mercury did this weekend. They lost in Indiana, and then they came home. They opened the second half of the season with the Chicago Sky on the road and got a win. Then they went to Indiana and took the loss, and then they came home to take on the Sky again Sunday.
The fans are loud and proud, and they are ready to cheer on the Mercury. First time in 39 days we've got a home game here at the Footprint Center. Cunningham is there for the rebound. Bodies fly, and here come the Mercury. Taurasi, that's wet. Inside to Griner, up and in. Going inside to BG, and Chicago struggling to find out how to defend her. But that's all from the perimeter passing, too.
Angel Reese, mid-range. Okay. Taj Cloud ahead to Taurasi. She's not going to miss from there. Nice find by Cloud. Griner taking her time. Bouncing to Billings, reversing well. Hello, Mo. Billings chases it down. Cloud in and out. Battle for the rebound, won by Griner. Griner spinning and gets the roll. 5 on the floor for the Mercury. Copper, Taurasi, Billings, Mack, and Sutton. Billings leaves it short and then cleans up the mess. Ka off the bounce. Kicks it out. Cunningham 3. Splash! Griner is there with the O-board. Taurasi. And one opportunity. Taurasi spinning. Okay, Diana. She's got 20. 14,267 on their feet to applaud this victory as Phoenix gets its 9th win at home and improves to 2-0 against Chicago.
That's the first time since June 28th that Diana Taurasi has scored 20-plus points in a game. 23 last night for DT on 6 of 13 from the floor, and a pretty good night as well for Monique Billings, who is averaging 9 points and 7 rebounds this season. She played well as well, finishing the night with 13 points and 8 rebounds. On the other side of it, though, it was the freshman phenom, Angel Reese, 19 points, 20 rebounds for the rookie. And Angel afterward asked what it was like to have to go out there and do that and still guard one of the best centers in the game in Brittany Griner.
Hey guys, this question's for Angel. You've now had over the last few days, time to see BG in real time, and I'm curious for you what your difference was in preparation from game 1 to game 2. You had 11 and 15, I believe, in game 1, and now 19 and 20.
It's a team effort. It doesn't take one person to stop her. I'm not even going to just say I stopped her. Camilla did a great job being able to be out there and match up with her, because Camilla does match up with her well. You got to give us some grace. We are both rookies, and BG's been in this league for a while. She's a very smart player. I think tonight we did a great job trying to push her off the block as best as we can. And then I think just being able to wall up and box her out and get the rebound. But you got to give kudos to her. She's a great post player.
Indeed, 18 points for Brittany Griner in the win. So the Mercury go back to 2 games over 500 at 15 and 13. They're in 4th place in the Western Conference currently. Next up will be a game two nights from tonight, Wednesday night, on the road against the Atlanta Dream. In fact, they'll go down there and play 2 games in Atlanta against the Dream. They'll play Wednesday and Friday down in Atlanta. So chance to maybe bulk up on the win title coming up later this week.
Yeah, you got Liberty coming up after that, so watch out.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And the Aces are not too far off either.
All right, Dino Babers, we'll hear from him coming up in this hour. DK on the sports tip. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
Chevrolet Traffic Center. It's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Westbound I-10 approaching Houghton, a collision and a closure of westbound I-10 approaching Houghton. Other wrecks that are reported, Glen and First Avenue, Craycroft and Broadway Boulevard, Ina and Old Father, Keno Parkway and 36th Street, Country Club and Grants, backups at the intersection, and also Campbell south of Prince Road could use Tucson Boulevard instead. A flash flood warning in effect for eastern Pima County until 7:45 tonight. And 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows their great paint savings means you get the colors you want at prices you'll love. Get 20% off select 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of paint or stain. Valid through 8/21. Selection varies by location. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
We are Tucson's home of the NFL. Sunday, Thursday night football.
Wide open for Mahomes.
The NFL playoffs.
He high steps it in for the touchdown.
And the Super Bowl. This is Tucson Sports Station, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Jerry Jones, when he said we're going all in, I thought Derrick Henry is going to be out there. Go get a couple of free agents, add them to the Cowboys. And instead, as we all know, they didn't do very much in free agency at all. What a difference we'd be talking about the Dallas Cowboy chances of winning it all this year if that guy was there.
Who may not have wanted to go to Dallas.
I don't know about that. Why would you want to do that?
Ravens a little bit better of a football team, maybe?
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
3 reasons I ditched my old school deodorant and made the switch to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. First, Lumi is crazy effective. It controls odor in a new way and keeps me fresher longer. Second, it's a whole body deodorant that works on every nook and cranny. You know, the ones we all have. My pits, underboob, thigh folds, behind, and even feet. Use it anywhere. Third, Lumi was created by an OBGYN. I don't know about you, but knowing Lumi was formulated by an OBGYN who knows all about safety below the belt is super reassuring. Experience a new way to control odor longer that works everywhere. There's a special offer for listeners. Go to LumiDeodorant.com and use code SUPER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SUPER. Like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code SUPER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code SUPER to save 15% today.
Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have won their first 2 games since the WNBA season resumed last week. After defeating the Mercury on Friday, Indiana beat the Seattle Storm at home yesterday 92-75. Kelsey Mitchell led the Fever in scoring with 27 points. Clark dealt out 9 assists on Sunday, and she now has the most in a single season by a rookie in league history. The basketball phenom also had 23 points in yesterday's victory.
It's definitely cool. I mean, if you would have told me I would lead the league in assists coming in here in my rookie season, I probably would have told you you're lying. But I take a lot of pride in that. I want to set my teammates up first and foremost because I think that's going to help you have the most successful team. I still feel like there's a lot of room for me to grow, so that's what I'm most excited about.
Caitlin Clark and the Fever are now 13-15 on the season. They're back in action Saturday on the road against the Minnesota Lynx. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on Westwood One.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to be a part of the show today. If you want to watch this show, you can do so. We are streaming it on 3 different platforms. You can watch it on Facebook Live, YouTube, or Twitch, and all of those are Wildcats Radio 1290. You can also watch it on our app. So why don't you download our app? In fact, text the word app, APP, to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link. You can download our app. You can read all about Nikki Dallin and where she stands in the lexicon of scoring goals in Arizona soccer history. That is on our app right now. What place she is in and how many goals she needs this season to become the all-time leading scorer in Arizona history.
You could read about her, and then you could listen to her from her own mouth because
Yes.
you did an interview with her an hour ago, and it's up there too.
We did, and it's already up there because that's how J-Dub does business here, folks.
Coach Stubbs and Dallin are both up there.
Coach Stubbs joined us, Charita Stubbs, as well as Nikki Dallin. So both those interviews are over on our app. Do not miss a thing. Download the app today. All right, let's hear from Dino Babers, practice number 15 for Arizona football in the books. He spoke after it this morning. Dino, how is the offense doing right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we're just trying to get our entire concepts in. The guys are doing a good job learning. We're in the process. Offense is a little bit different than defense when it comes to this time of the year because we're trying to get all our offense in for the entire year. And then, obviously, when you get to start getting ready for opponents, you get very specific and you narrow down exactly what you're going to work on, which is going to give you higher productivity, be more consistent in doing the things you need to do and doing the right thing. So right now, we're just getting finished with that, and we're about to make the transition to our first opponent. So it should be getting smaller, and the performance level should be going up.
Matt and Jason, with making that transition to game prep, how much value is it, especially that it's your first game prep of the season, to have those 3 or 4 extra days to really dial in and say, this is how we're going to do things on a regular basis throughout the season?
I think routine is big. I'm a military kid, grew up in a military family, grew up on military bases, waking up to reveille and going to bed to taps, sunrise, sunset. So I think when you give them something and you let them know what the routine is going to be, that they start to get comfortable with it, and that's going to increase performance, not only mentally but physically.
Jason and Brian.
In a camp setting, practice setting, there'll be days where the offense looks good, there'll be days where the defense gets the better of the offense. How do you judge whether or not it's the offense executing, the defense playing well? How do you kind of break that?
We watch tape on all that stuff. We're trying to figure out who's going to be with us. When I say who's going to be with us, where's that cutoff between starters, 1.5 guys who are between part-time starters, your second string guys, your third, fourth, and fifth string guys. So we're still evaluating personnel. When you're evaluating personnel, you kind of gear it down a little bit so you can see athletic performance and then mentally see how much they're going to be able to retain. After that's done, which is we're coming to an end, it's coming to a close, then you've got to start setting the depth chart and putting guys in and getting ready for the first game. And one of the things that we tell young men, and I do, is I tell them, if you really want a job, okay, whether that's being first team, second team, or third team, whatever that job you want, don't make it close, okay? Don't let it come down to a vote of a coach, because if we vote, we may not vote your way. So don't make it close. If you're going to be a starter, show everybody that you're the starter, and you want one of those Rudy scenes. If we don't start you, we want the whole team coming in, throwing their jersey in front of me, talking about this guy should be the starter. And hopefully, I've never had that happen before, and hopefully it doesn't happen here.
Brian and Troy.
Is there any advantage to the fact that New Mexico will play this Saturday, so you will get a real-life look at what Bronco and his guys are going to do ahead of preparing for that game, whereas they are kind of going blind?
I look at it totally different. I look at it that they are getting an opportunity to play a full football game, and your most growth is between your first and second football game every year. So they're going to get an opportunity to see themselves play. They'll be able to critique it. The kids learn more from watching themselves than from watching others, and they will have immense growth from whatever we see on that tape to what shows up in Arizona Stadium.
Hello, Justin.
What can you say about the cohesion between yourself, Coach Brennan, Matt Atkins, and the offensive coaches? How are you guys working together?
I think you need to throw Josh Oglesby in there, our run game coordinator as well. I think it's a very unique group. I think, you have a lot of the core guys from San Jose. You've got Bobby Wade coming down from that school up north, and then myself coming in there. Coach Brennan and I go way back, and if there's anything I understand is the chain of command. So we're going to do exactly what he wants us to do, and when I have the freedom to do some things that I want to do, I'll exercise that freedom. But I do think it's important that everybody gets a voice in what you're doing, and they get a chance to express themselves. And once that's done, we'll make a decision, or I'll make a decision. When we walk out the door, we walk out the door together.
Matt and Jason. We've talked a lot this offseason just about the guys who stayed in this program and how they are setting the culture for you guys coming into the staff and for just this team and what it's going to look like in 2024. How have they underscored that throughout their work and their preparation, their focus in fall camp?
You guys need to write so many articles on that. It's ridiculous. I've been with special teams. The 98 team was a special team. I've been with teams that are extremely close, and I can go through all of them, and I got a lot to go through. I'm not sure this team's not the closest. We will see, because we'll have ups and downs and trials throughout this season, and we'll see how it goes when it comes to an end. But coming out of the gate, this might be one of the closest football teams I've ever seen.
Jason and Michael.
This time of year throughout the country, coaches are naming starters. It's obvious you're starting here. How beneficial is it to know your starter going into camp?
Noah? Are you referring to Noah?
Just knowing you knew what you had in Noah, and you knew he was going to be the starter from day one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a huge benefit. It's a huge benefit. I'm going to tell you a story about somebody else right now. I was at Syracuse, and I had just got on the job, and somebody told me, I know who your defensive captain is going to be. And it was some guy by the name of Zaire Franklin. I had never met Zaire Franklin, who's the starting linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts right now. And I think he was like a 5th or a 7th round draft pick, and they said he was going to get cut. And, now he's on the team, and he's on his 2nd contract and team captain. But that's not the story. The point is, the person came up and told me who my captain was going to be, and I said, hey, he's not my captain until I tell you he's my captain. And that's how I responded. I said, I've got to see the guy. But after I saw the guy for like 4 or 5 days, I'm like, that's going to be my captain. That's the guy that's going to be the captain. Noah was going to always be the starting quarterback. When you meet him, you just understand why, that it's not even close. He is as comparable to any quarterback I've ever had off the football field mentally. The only person I can compare him to is Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's still in the league. Okay, so Noah, as I said before, and I'll bring this to a close, is not normal. He's different. Thank God for that.
What has Cole Tannenbaum done to kind of distinguish himself in that next tier of quarterback group?
Consistently good, not occasionally great, somebody you can wind your clock by. You know exactly what you're going to get day in and day out. He constantly gets better. He's taking feedback and he's growing. Those are the things.
Any other questions for Coach? Michael, you've obviously been a little banged up on the offensive line throughout the course of camp. Seems like maybe things are kind of coming together here a little bit at the end, but what kind of challenges has that presented to you, and what has kind of maybe been the upside that some other guys have gotten reps with the first team?
Yeah, it's a lot of people have gotten reps, and there's been some upsides. For me, I haven't got an opportunity to see them all intact working together. So, I'm not sleeping really good, but there's a whole bunch of other guys on the staff that are sleeping great because, Coach, you're going to love him. Just get him to the game. I'm like, okay, all right, I believe you. But, we got 4 out of 5 back, and I expect there's going to be some continuity, and it should be good for us. And I would imagine all of them being healthy, ready to go, that we're going to be in a better situation than most teams at this level.
Justin and then Brian.
Going back to what you were talking about, where you don't really know about them until you see them, with that, even though he's been in a limited fashion, what's your impressions of T-Mac?
I've got like over 40 NFL wide receivers in the league, over 40 guys that became millionaires that I've coached in 36 years. I'm not sure I've met anybody like him. I'm not sure I've seen. The only person I've seen with catch radius like that is Larry Fitzgerald. And I'm not comparing him to Larry because he played 17 years. I'm just telling you, he's not normal. He may be better than everybody I've ever coached. We'll see, because I've coached some really, really good ones. He played really, really well in the pros. But from a college level, he may be better than all of them.
Last question, Brian.
This could apply to the O-line, but really any position. Is there a point leading up to the season where when someone's been banged up and hasn't been a full participant that you have a cutoff where it's like, I don't know if they're ready to go for the opener, or are there certain guys that maybe you just trust will be ready even without the practice?
It comes down to the conditioning level. I mean, a guy can be physically healthy, but not conditioned enough to go on an 8, 10, 12-play drive without mentally breaking down on 8 and 9 and doing something that kills the drive because you're just tired. So I think the biggest thing is not whether they're healthy and whether you can stick them back in there because they played before, is where's their conditioning level at. If they've been a starter, if they've been a consistent performer in this program, then you want to get them on the field as fast as you can because you can predict what they're going to do on the football field because they've done it over and over and over again. But I would say the major concern would be the conditioning level, whether they're in condition to play that many snaps in the heat, especially with our first 2 games being here in the stadium.
All right, that is Dino Babers, the offensive coordinator. Man, Dino just laying it out there today.
Catch radius.
Tetero McMillan on point with Larry Fitzgerald, who, next stop, Canton, Ohio. And then Noah Fafita, as cerebral as Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, wow. And both as he categorized, different.
Who had the best catch radius?
Different. Who?
Who had the best?
The best of all time?
Megatron, Randy Moss, maybe.
I liked Randy Moss, yeah.
I mean, he could go up there,
Yeah.
and he could go up there higher than most,
Right.
and he always came down with it.
Yeah. I mean, Randy Moss stands out to me more in that respect. I mean, Megatron was really great, but there was something about Randy Moss and
He
the
made it
speed
look
he
pretty,
had, the speed he had to go with it. But yeah, Dino Babers. Dino Babers thinks highly of his two main offensive players, the quarterback Noah Fafita, the wide receiver Tetsuo McMillan. You know what Cricket thinks highly of? The traffic out on the streets. She's going to make you navigate through it home safely right now.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions, and there's a closure on I-10 near Houghton, westbound I-10. Approaching Houghton, closed due to a crash. Other collisions at Speedway and Alvernon, Ajo and Keno, First Avenue and River Road, Glen and First Avenue, and also Campbell to the south of Prince Road with some heavy restrictions. You could use Tucson Boulevard instead. Flash flood warning in effect for eastern Pima County until 7:45 tonight. 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, Labor Day sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable mattress sets from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy. Plus, get up to a $300 instant gift for pillows and more.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit novahomeloans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Stay up late and bet some West Coast baseball. I'm Chris Mack here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The Dodgers and Mariners face off tonight in L.A., and the BetQL model backs the home team. BetQL has the Dodgers at minus 145 on the money line as a 5-star best bet, projecting L.A. as nearly a 2-1 favorite. I'm Chris Mack. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really matter, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
This is the Sports Machine, Sean Levine, with the Sports Minute. The first top 25 college football polls out. No surprise, the usuals in the top 5, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, and Georgia. But it made me think about a powerhouse of old. I'm talking about USC, who is now in the Big Ten. Ruh-roh. They're about to get absolutely swallowed alive through conference realignment. I'm Sean Levine.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp data bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Last chance to do so. Things looking good right now for the Diamondbacks down in Miami.
Remember that Del Castillo guy we've been talking about?
Yeah, Adrian.
He just singled in Perdomo and Gurriel.
So he's got 6 runs batted in tonight?
That's correct, yeah.
Wow.
He just singled in 2 in the top of the 7th, expanding the lead. It was 5-4. Now it is 7-4.
Adrian Del Castillo tonight is 2 for 3 with 6 runs batted in. He's hitting .344 since he got called up. Gabby Moreno might not get his job back when he comes back. Because this kid, and this is what I love about baseball. What I love about baseball is some kid who, now he's been in AAA the whole year, but, some kid who's either in AAA or AA and gets called up in August and just, leads a team to great things. I've mentioned I've been going back through my VHS tapes because my wife is making me purge. And I've got a lot of, stuff recorded from, 97, 98, 99 when the Indians were really good. And I was watching one of the World Series and playoff games when Jarrett Wright, he was a kid, came up in 97, came up mid-season and became one of the Indians' best pitchers down the stretch. I mean, I love those stories like that. A rookie who comes up and immediately makes a difference and can continue that going, and then he's playing so well you can't keep him off the playoff roster, and then he gets on the playoff roster and he does things in the playoffs to forever cement himself in team history, even if he doesn't have a great career, long-term career. Heck, if he leads you to the World Series, you're going to remember his name for a long time.
I've always felt the one downside to baseball is there's too much analysis. And what I mean by that is for every major league player who comes up, DK, there have been 1.2 thousand eyeballs watching their play and jotting notes down about what they can and can't do. So that thought process is he's not ready, he's not ready, he's not ready, he's not ready. Oh, we gotta put him in the lineup because got an injury to our catcher. Oh wait, he's hitting 355 and got 6 RBIs. Mike Piazza is the guy I always think of, right? Because wasn't he drafted in the last round?
51st round or something.
Yeah, in the very last round, and only got in the lineup due to injuries and then became one of the best hitting catchers of all time.
I've got to add up Del Castillo's OPS right now because it is like something really, really crazy. He's slugging .688, and his on-base percentage is .417. So his OPS right now is 1.105. That's really good, in case you're not familiar with OPS. Really, really good. 6 runs batted in tonight. Diamondbacks lead by a score of 7-4 over the Marlins, looking to break their losing streak. JW had mentioned in the break there looked like there might have been a storm cloud brewing, but it was not probably going to happen tonight. I don't know if you saw this Friday night. Now, I'm from the Midwest.
Right.
Okay. So I grew up in the Midwest where, if storms come through, tornadoes and that kind of thing, you could have like the newscasts will do like an hour straight of just weather coverage, right?
On our side, really quick, Paige is from Arkansas.
Yeah.
She and all of her friends know the first name of the weather person simply for that reason. Because that time of year, you gotta pay attention to what that person's saying. Yeah.
Arkansas especially. Yeah. Absolutely. Friday night, Channel 13, KOLD, Aaron Christensen, they did 30 straight minutes of weather coverage at the top of the 6th because there was a really bad storm down west of southwestern Pima County.
Right.
I guess it's primarily like unincorporated tribal land, but there are some villages and stuff out there, so people obviously live out there, but not a lot of folks. They did a half hour straight. I've never seen a half hour straight of weather coverage here in southern Arizona. I was like, she went on for like 10 minutes. I was like, okay, now how much is she like going to continue? And like she went on for another 20 minutes. And again, Erin is like one of the best that we have here in town. I mean, her and Matt Brode and my guy. We got 3 great lead weather people here. My guy Kyler Diggs over at Channel 9, Matt Brode over at 4, and Aaron Christensen. I mean, you almost feel bad because they're so good. They don't really have a whole lot to talk about for most of the year.
Yeah,
but she went on for a half hour on weather coverage. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive for Southern Arizona because we don't get coverage like that every so often.
You can only do too many pieces on back to school shopping and how poor the roads are. So you got to do a lot of stories on this time of year, DK.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the stronger and more violent. We just talked about what happened in Marana last year. You see damage, quite a bit of damage. What was it? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? That storm where it took maybe a week and a half for them to pick up a lot of trees around town. So yeah, I think that the best are right on top of those stories as they're happening because we've seen some dangerous weather in these parts recently.
Yeah, we were out doing some driving around, just doing some house hunting yesterday, and we went over to Topgolf and just in that area there, just inner part of 10 on that kind of that northwest part of town. Still a lot of trees down, limbs down, limbs hanging and that kind of thing from recent storms that have come through. So it definitely something that we don't get a lot, but it seems to be, again, I said it early in the summer, it seems to be getting more fierce as the years go on when we get these storms. So, but kudos to Aaron Christensen for doing a half hour. I mean, literally, she just talked. Just her. It was like, wasn't like she threw it out to somebody to give herself 2 minutes to recover. It was 30 straight minutes of her talking about it.
Well, you just said it 300 days out of the year. It's like, it's clear skies, warm, and nice weather.
Right.
So you got to jump on the chance when you get it, DK.
All right, let's give you our Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, Nicole Dallin has scored 5 goals this season for Arizona soccer. She scored 4 in a 5-0 win on Sunday against Pacific. I asked Nicole if she felt like coming out of warm-ups that it was going to be a special day.
I actually didn't. I had a self-talk with myself that I have all the tools and resources to be great. I just have to execute them on the field. Every game I get the same nerves, the same pregame nerves. But on the field, my job is to score goals. So any opportunity I can get, I like to try to take the best with that and run with it. But yesterday I had no idea after one there was going to be 3 more.
So when you get those nerves, when those nerves are going before the game, what do you do to calm yourself down, to bring yourself back to where, you can compete at a high level?
My pregame nerves pretty much last up until the first whistle. I like to give myself a couple big deep breaths, and then I just focus on making my first pass. And once I do that, I'm pretty settled in.
Interesting. You focus on just the first pass, the first touch is kind of what brings you into that. Do you have any routines, pregame routines you do, something you eat, music you listen to? What's kind of your thing?
I kind of like to stay away from having a specific routine just because if I am not able to do it on one day, I don't want that to predetermine how I go into a game. I'm not a superstitious person at all. I believe that you can control the way that you play. So, yeah, that's probably my only thing is making sure my first touch is clean, my first pass is connected with one of my teammates. And that usually sets me up for a pretty good game.
Nicole Dallin joining us from Arizona Soccer, fifth-year senior forward. So how do you feel, obviously being one of the senior leaders on this team, how do you feel about these first 2 games and how they've gone?
I feel very great. I think that this is the most successful freshman class that we've had even this part of the season. They're the most talented people that we've had come in, which has helped the team be able to build off of what we ended up with last year more easily. It's been a smooth transition for them to learn our playing style. So that's been really great. It's been great to see the coaching styles communicate well with the team. We're able to apply the things that they teach us and coach us. So that's been great. So I'm very hopeful and very excited to see what the rest of the season has to offer.
We don't want to look past Northern Arizona, but there is this thing on the schedule Sunday against one of the best programs in the country down in Chapel Hill. How excited is this group to have a chance to go down and play a team like North Carolina?
The team is definitely excited, something that we've been looking forward to since our schedule came out. Just getting the opportunity to go out there is going to be great for the team, great for the experience, especially for the younger girls. I think for the older girls, we know that soccer can go any which way. As long as we bring our best to the table that day, I think that we're gonna see a good game.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
There have been 41 national championships in NCAA women's soccer. North Carolina has won 21 of them.
Also, they didn't win their first until like 24 years ago, right? Like, haven't they won like 21 out of the last 25 or something ridiculous like that?
Well, actually, no. They won their first. If what I'm looking at is correct, they won their first one in 1982, but they actually have not won one. I thought this was interesting. They have not won one since 2012. They literally won from 90 through the 90s and the early 2000s. They have the majority of their 20-something championships.
That's like back when Arizona and UCLA were so dominant in softball, they had something like 18 out of 20 between the two of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They won 9 in a row. 86 to 94.
9 consecutive senior classes that never finished.
They
below
never
first.
did not win a national
That's some
championship.
Wooden type stuff there.
That will be on Sunday, and it's actually we know the network now. It's going to be on the ACC network. All right, Steve Kerr going to be speaking tonight at the DNC. We'll have that for you tomorrow. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Nicole Dallin for joining us, volleyball coach Charita Stubbs. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. For JW Madden and Cricket, my name is David Kelly. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 3 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Westbound I-10 approaching Houghton, a collision and a closure. Westbound I-10 approaching Houghton is closed. Other crashes at Speedway and Alverdon, Ajo-Kino Connection, and also Campbell south of Prince Road. There is a flash flood warning in effect for eastern Pima County until 7:45 tonight and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. It's time to experience the thrill of the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. It's free to play. Play for fun and no purchases necessary. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions.
We don't have time enough to tell you the 100 reasons why you should shop at O'Reilly Chevrolet during our 100-year anniversary celebration, because this is a really short commercial.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-970-8855. That's 800-970-8855. 800-970-8855.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rock and Materials. A few bare spots in the yard.